Yeah.
What is church doing right now currently? How many live viewers? How many?
I'm doing everything, and I'm doing it in the middle of the night.
It's some Detroit shit. Huh? What it is, pimp? Yeah, I made them bring our truth back, pimp. I made them bring our truth back. They wasn't ready for that. That wasn't supposed to happen. Nah, they could say we did it. It was all that. Nah. Triple H seen my video. He said, oh, no. This white boy serious. In the hood around here, Ice Lord, ain't nothing bigger. Ain't that you think it's slow. I just think a little quicker. So yeah, man, I had to put this out there for y'all, man, cause I know I made them bring our truth back. Disrespecting the boss, bitch, you got big nerves, spit on the hoe, smack her ass and leave her out on the curb. And watch, it's gonna be R-Truth and Miz retirement tour now. Nah, they have to have them going against Cena now. Think about who took the spinning belt from Cena? Yeah, that's why. Truth gonna get a title run before he go. You're not gonna have to do no little shit. And this way he preserved the name Ron Killings for the Indies. That's what's going on with that. Shit wouldn't have happened if people like me wasn't making videos like, yo, this is fucked up. Y'all can't do that. I get the other releases. Yeah, they were useless, bro. R-Truth, there's one of a kind, bro. That motherfucker a national treasure. And he not even no world champion in your organization ever. I think the biggest title he probably held in WWE would have been the hardcore title, which he held as K-Quick. The 24/7 belt, that was like his title. That was like the Taz FTW title for R-Truth, basically. But I had to just say that. I just had stony motherfucker about it. Just sprinkle the game on him, you hear me? Yeah, twist the game up, throw it in the ashtray. Yeah, nah, I ain't even gonna be up here on no humble shit. Nah, I fucking did that, pimp. I made them bring him back. I know it. If you get caught with this in the street, bring it back to the big block headquarters. I had to put this shit out there for the kids and shit, you know what I'm saying? Cause, listen, that's the point of this. I don't do this shit for money. I don't do this shit for clout. I don't do this shit for views. I do this shit to change the world, pimp. When I say shit on here, it does shit. It means something. It makes shit happen. So I just bought a record label, pimp. I'm balling as fuck. I just bought a record label. I got a subsidiary now, pimp. So I just had to do this shit for y'all, man. Put this shit out there for the kids and shit, you know? I also know that me saying all that shit about R-Truth, man, they see that shit. They had to, bro. It was so quick, bro. They probably seen all that shit I said. I ain't gonna hold you. I ain't even coming out here on no humble shit this time, nah. I did that, you know, say I did that. R-Truth said it wasn't a work. He says, cause of all of you. No, it was mainly cause of me. There wasn't a lot of people making like multiple videos about this shit. I mean, like some people was, but I know all it takes is one person seeing just my video. And that's why I put my face on the shit, cause you can see the emotion. It chills their bones, my words when I speak them. Like it shake their psyche up and shit. My shit dripping like a dope fiend, but you know what it is. Yeah, I did that. That's not even the focus of this video, man, but I'm just talking shit like a pimp on that bit, huh? Nah, so what we gotta talk about, right? I seen somebody, right? This channel, it's got like 1,000 subs. Normally, I'm not a big fan of the channels that don't show their face. Like, you have to be a really, like, specific type. Like, you have to have a niche for me to fuck with you like that, right? Right, okay, so like Jeff Hills, he does, like, Command and Conquer lore. I fuck with him. He don't show his face. Like, anything like that, yeah. Anything that's, like, documentary type shit, like Dark Skies type shit, anything like that, yeah. Devontae doesn't show his face. Fuck with Devontae. I know what his face looks like. He got mad facial piercings. He look more light-skinned than me and he black. That's the R-Truth way, huh? Do this shit for y'all, man, because Sean McClure, I remember the McClure part because there's like one of my first ops in life was this kid whose first name was McClure. I'm not gonna hold you. People call him Mac too. It's like one of my first ops ever in life. Like when I was in like first grade. I chokeslammed that motherfucker when I was fighting him one time. Literally, I felt so proud of myself. Like, yo, I really did a wrestling move in a street fight. Like, I really chokeslammed him, bro. So, yeah, fucking, this dude, Sean McClure, I think his name is. He made this video where he was talking about like, yo, where he's like, yo, Cyraxx is speed running state care. Like he felt Cyraxx is trying to speed run on it. He said unintentionally. I said the title of this video is unintentionally funny. He said Cyraxx may be unintentionally speed running state care. I said the title of this video is unintentionally funny. Speed run state care. That sounds so bugged out when you just say that, bro. When you refer to anything that's not a video game and you say you speed running that, it sounds kind of bugged out. That's why people do it. State care, bro, that doesn't end in a good thing. You know what I'm saying? But you wind up stuck there, like somewhere where my wife worked at. Yeah, real shit. Like, bro, my brother Sean, bro, was like, the one who died of muscular dystrophy that I talked about on here. Like, I saw him on hospice right before he died and shit. Like, he fucking got to a point where, like, if they couldn't, like, depending on what happened, it was concerning. Like, they was like, yo, we might have to put him on state care if something happened to one of his parents or something like that was what was going to happen. He would wind up in, like, a group home or something because he's in a wheelchair, bro. He can't do everything. Like, he can't get out of that wheelchair. It's not like no Lester from GTA 5 situation. No, this motherfucker cannot even walk. It's not like the wheelchair's just there for, like, mobility issues. He has no mobility. Thankfully, that never happened to him. You know what I'm saying? That's one thing I could say about him dying when he did. He got to die in his house. He wasn't in no fucking putting no state care, none of that. Thank God. But yeah, I had to speak on it because, you know, I run a label. This kid made a video just now where he's like, could Cyraxx, would anyone even sign Cyraxx to a label? I'm like, I own a small upstart label. I wouldn't sign Cyraxx. I wouldn't care if he didn't have all the issues he has and he rapped like he was Tupac. Like, he didn't have the issues with optics and he could rap as good as Tupac. I still wouldn't sign him because of them charges. And I can't sign nobody like that just based off them wild charges. So yeah, that was the main point I had. I said, aside from his, you know, physical condition, his deteriorating health, all that shit, I'm not gonna be able to sign nobody. I don't care if they rap like Tupac and they had an image that worked or none of that. I can't do that with someone with those charges. It's just not gonna work. Like, cause they don't look like, yo, you employing someone who target kids and do shit. I can't have that on my name. I don't want to associate with people like that either. But the fact of, like, yeah, baseline, I don't want to associate with those people. You put someone like that with that type of background on a label, regardless of what you're doing it for, what else is going on, like, cause he tried to go from like, well, what if they try to do it as a way to like be like, look at this mentally ill special needs musician, like trying to put it in the light of mental health. And he was even like, I don't think that would even work. And he's right, but he was coming out from like Cyraxx being a PR problem in terms of like an interview. Cyraxx is a PR problem because of them charges more than anything. He's a PR problem because of them charges. He's a PR problem because you can't media train him. No matter what you do, bro, look, there come a point where like some people just don't got it, bro. He's not musically inclined enough. I hate saying that about anybody, but he's really not. If we're just keeping it all the way 1,000, like, be like, oh, but this dude really doing it. Like, that one dude, bro, what was his name? He was on 106 in Park. He was blind. Y'all know who I'm talking about. That's a motherfucker that, like, do that in the right light. He also don't have no weird charges on his name. And blindness is debatably not a mental illness, despite the fact that, like, your eyes operate from your brain. It's not, I don't think it's considered a mental illness. It's like its own thing. I don't think you can put Cyraxx on a label. At the very least, it's going to affect the image of the label. And it's not going to do nothing to put Cyraxx in a better way. It's not going to do nothing for Cyraxx. He's got too much of a negative perception online as it is. He's got such a negative perception, it can't be erased, bro. He could do the shit they did with me and wipe all of his main shits, and there would still be a digital footprint of him on here. You know what I'm saying? When your name becomes like a meme within the fucking, when your name become like an inside joke, like that's when it's used as a disrespectful way, bro. There's no coming back from that. Like, and that's all big in a small scale, bro. Like, when your name is no good in the hood and your name is used as like an example of what not to do, that's basically what Cyraxx did on a much larger scale. Yeah, like, so that's where I'm like, as a very small time record executive, I'm like, I couldn't sign that. I don't care if he could rap better than Tupac. I don't care how much like records his talent could sell if he had it. I'm creating a hypothetical. I can't put nobody with that charge on my label. And like I said, I'm not even talking about the aspects of optics and image and all the other shit that, you know, it's kind of fucked up and slow for him. Even if that wasn't in the picture, like I said, just based off him having a history of doing weird shit like that, y'all know what I'm talking about. I wouldn't be able to put Cyraxx on my label. It's not even like someone like me where it's like they have musical skill. It's either just they're not discovered or like they're not always on 100% with it. Yeah, you could tell I was going like 70%, 80%, just rushing. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm rushing. Like, he doesn't get the concept of how to do it. You know? It's unfortunate, but I'm not saying none of this to diss Cyraxx. Like, the only thing I would ever try to diss him about is that weird history he got of being on the registry and shit. Take that how you will, but no label's gonna fuck with him just based off that history. If that Bender Boys thing was anything serious, even then, man, I've never heard of that. That's not nothing major either. They wouldn't be able to, like I'd say if Cyraxx didn't have that weird history, that's like literally proven weird history, right? If Cyraxx didn't have that, his best bet, the people who would probably be most likely to put him on would be like Psychopathic. Would be like the Insane Clown Posse would be the most likely bet he would have at getting put on because his image fits their aesthetic. They would love to have someone who looked like Cyraxx. If they had someone who looked like Cyraxx, could rap like Tupac, wasn't bugged out like Cyraxx, and didn't have them weird charges on his name, but had that same disability, right? But he could rap though. ICP would sign him in a heartbeat because it fits that whole culture. That whole fan base is very accepting of shit like that. And a lot of that fan base finds shit that looks like that more appealing. That's the only label I could ever think of him being able to really, without them charges, being able to get on and have a success of any type from. But then you add all the other factors and it's like they're not even going to do that for him. Just having them weird charges, they're not going to do that for him. That's before you add in the inability to be able to media train him. You cannot media train because he's too impulsive. He's too reactive. Listen, I'm impulsive, I'm reactive, but I'm not like that though. That's the main thing that is going to fuck him besides them charges. Them charges is the main thing out of everything. Like I said, if he looked like that, had all the same issues besides maybe the media training issue, besides the impulsive, like the mental issues maybe, some of them. Even with that, some of it you could get by. You know what I'm saying? If he was easier to work with, if he didn't have such certain tendencies, you know, but that charge, I don't know if it's the actual charge or I forget, but I know it's like proven this happened. He did some weird shit. That alone, like ICP, I know will not fucking sign him because of that. Because, you know, people constantly try to diss ICP. Like, I've heard people be like, oh, ICP this or that. And it's like, they not that, bro. And they don't condone that. They might have rapped about shit like that to shock people. They were a different type of music. They weren't that type of music. They weren't trying to imitate life. They were trying to make art that was so outlandish it couldn't imitate life. Like, they were trying to basically do the same thing that, like, horror movies did and shit, but on a rap song. If Cyraxx didn't have them charges, if he's a little more easy to manage, ICP probably be his best bet at getting signed because he fits the aesthetic. And literally looking like that, he fits the aesthetic for it. Without having to put no face paint on or nothing, he fits the fucking Juggalo aesthetic off rip. And they might already know. They're like, yeah, we're not. You can't be associated with this. Cause like I said, if Cyraxx was lyrically Tupac, I couldn't sign him. With how it stands, bro. If he's actually good at what he was doing to like a revolutionary level, I still couldn't sign him. I'm not gonna have nothing like that associated with anything I run. And a lot of, if not all, labels kind of feel the same way. There's probably some exceptions. If you're like in charge of a label or you're high up on a label or something, there's some exceptions where like, I wouldn't say you can just go anywhere, but if you've been established with a label and you have some like R. Kelly shit happen, like obviously if R. Kelly gets released, he's still on that label. Cause that label owns songs that do crazy numbers. They're not giving those numbers up. But that's a whole different story. You know, it's way different for R. Kelly versus Cyraxx. Debatably, R. Kelly probably did worse shit. But it's the fact that R. Kelly was already a fucking angel before all the worst shit came out. And then even still, you got people like literally like, yo, they should free R. Kelly. I hear women, like my wife said one time, they should free R. Kelly. He probably wasn't doing nothing that bad. Nobody's doing that for Cyraxx. And it's largely because, like I said, his perception is so bad in the public sphere, you can't fix it. His life is already a PR nightmare. Before you even try to do PR. It's literally it's such a PR nightmare that anyone who does PR would see having to do, like, if you came and said, do PR for this guy, they're gonna say they can't. They're gonna be like, what are we supposed to do, bro? How do we put this in? There's too much negative. There's too much negative perception by people who are potential fans. He's universally disliked. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not, he can't play that disliked role very well. He's not good at playing that disliked role like I am. You know, he doesn't understand how a crowd interaction. He doesn't understand that. And like I said, I'm not condoning none of the shit that's in his past or nothing. I'm gonna say strictly in terms of like the mental shit he got going on. That shit fucked up. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. But, you know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, the shit that he did with whatever, that was like basically some registry shit. That's the main thing that's gonna make nobody sign him. No one will sign him. Nobody will. I only made this video, like I said, because I seen this dude, Sean McClure, make a video where he's like, could anyone really sign Cyraxx to a record deal? Could that even happen? Is that even, like, possible? And he's going through, like, thinking of it of, like, well, what if we put him on Good Morning America and shit? And I'm like, bro, it's not even going to get that far. There's so much of it. The main negative perception about him is not that he's mentally ill. That's not the main thing. The main thing is that charge. And you can't, that's so out there in public knowledge at this point, to the point where you could delete it off all his socials and it's still out there. There's a like permanent, way more public record than public record on that shit. It's just the fact of like, when he said that shit, I'm seeing the route that he's going down, the lane of like reasoning he's going down. I'm like, listen, you don't even need to worry about all that. I get you trying to just drag this shit out like I am, bro, but nobody hiring no Cyraxx for no label with them charges, bro. It's not happening. You know, it's just wilding, bro. It's not happening. I'm sorry. He gets too angry about what people say on the internet who don't know him in person at all. But like I said, people are saying that shit largely because of that fucking charge. You know, if he didn't have that, like I said, if he didn't have that charge, and he was nice as fucking rapping, I consider Cyraxx. He's not nice as fucking rapping, and I can't be associated with nobody who has a charge like that. I don't fuck with people who have those type of charges. I don't. In the life of a Mac, you know, some bitch ass shit. This motherfucker, guess what? I looked him up and it said he now identifies as non-binary. Yo, not hundreds, bro. They ain't do that to hundreds, bro. How you go from this to non-binary, bro? How you make the biggest song you make is a song about pimping, basically, and then you go to non-binary. These motherfuckers doing anything. Watch and observe my Mac antics. I feel bad for dude, even though I'm not gonna fuck with dude. Like, even though I can't fuck with dude, I feel bad for dude. Cause like, he really boxed himself into a corner. And that's all, like, when dude was talking about, is Cyraxx speed running state care? I'm like, he kinda is, bro, that's what it seemed like. He said they're trying to get him on the draw. Shit wildin', bro. I fuck with this dude because he was like, listen, he the first person I heard who documented shit with Cyraxx, but he literally tried to apply like psychological logic to it. He don't just trash Cyraxx, and it seemed like he genuinely had the idea of, he's coming from a theoretical standpoint about Cyraxx. He's not just rehashing a bunch of shit Cyraxx did making fun of him. He's not even really making fun of him. That was why I like this dude's tone. He wasn't making fun of Cyraxx at all. He was just stating the facts blatantly. But at the same time, it's like, yeah, Cyraxx got pedo tendencies. He got weird tendencies, bro. And like, any label is gonna see that, no matter who you are, and say, I can't fuck with you. It's the same thing as if your name is in paperwork and I know this trying to sign you. I'm not going to sign you. There's certain shit you can't have, like I say that shit about paperwork, that shit don't matter for every label. But say like for my label, that shit matters. For like 1017 Brick Squad, that shit matters. You know what I'm saying? Like, it depends what lane you in. If you in the wrong lane, you can't have that type of shit. You can't have nobody with no paperwork on your label. And you definitely can't have, like, the Geppetto shit, I don't even think you could get on like a more pop-oriented label or something. Like, ain't no gangster label gonna fuck with you. Even, like I said, even the Juggalos, who would probably be the most accepting fan base of Cyraxx normally. Because one thing is, he's very similar to that kid who like dives off. What the fuck is that dude's name? Super Humming or whatever his name is? Kid who dives off shit onto like microwaves and fucking light bulbs and shit. Like, basically invented the shit that I was doing, but like did it a little differently, doing like a front flip onto it. You know what I'm talking about. Cyraxx is very similar aesthetically to that. And the Juggalos embraced that motherfucker with open arms. Even if he went like a Ricky Berwick's type way, bro. Like, without them charges, like Ricky Berwick's don't have them charges. How, pimp? How would he get them charges? How would Ricky Berwick's be able to force anyone to do anything? He is severely physically disabled. And I love Ricky Berwick. That motherfucker funny, man. Kerchow. The weird charges shit can be put into, like, not a positive light, but into a light where they overlook it. Like they did with Chris Chan. But you're not going to be able to do that in Merzik if you're not nothing established. Especially with... See, Chris Chan didn't have such a negative track record about him. He had a weird track record about him until, like, one thing happened involving, was it grandmother or something? Like, that's the thing. Like, Cyraxx has had no success and has this big track record of, like, doing really bad stuff. Like, and people not liking him. And it's not just, like, people not liking him, like, when people be hating on me. No, it's way more severe than that. You know what I'm saying? And he's got so many reasons to dislike him. It's just, listen, man, you gotta come off humble no matter who you are. And that's the problem with Cyraxx. At the end of the day, that's one of the biggest problems. Because he's like the anti-humble. But yeah, that's all I gotta say on that. Like I said, I'm not trying to disrespect Cyraxx in this. I'm just talking from the record label perspective of, like, he can't get signed to no label, bro. Like, even something pop-oriented, I don't think is going to take a risk like that. Just because it'd be different if not the whole world knew this motherfucker had weird charges. You know what I'm saying? To a point you can't even hide that shit now. That shit is so prolific, it probably can't be buried or hidden. No matter how much money you can't buy that, pimp. That's how prolific that track record of him being a fucking weirdo is. So yeah, I had to speak this shit, 'cause I did a lot of shit to live this here lifestyle, pimp. Now we living it. I'm out there, bitch.